Hello everyone, my name is Fargas, and welcome to episode 2 of 3 Houses Cross FE. Last time I theorized how Ike, Lynn, and Robin would fit both stat-wise and character-wise in 3 houses, as students in the Officers Academy. Today I'm taking a deep dive with Roy, Camilla, and Lucina and breaking down how they would look if they were in Garreg Mach. From bases, growths, proficiencies, budding talents, learned spells, combat arts and abilities, to likes, dislikes, and close allies. A lot of effort was put into this, so if you end up enjoying this series, please like and comment down below when you've finished watching. Without further ado, here's Roy from Binding Blade.
Hello, Professor. I am Roy, son of Eliwood, Marquis Ferret. I must learn all that I can from you if I am to succeed my father.
Roy's bases are the following. Now I understand that the context of these characters are taken after they've done their part in their own story, but these are assuming they have level 1 bases just like every other character does in the game. And whether or not you agree or disagree that these characters should be at least professors at this point if it's taking place after the game, this is my video, you can make your own. Anyway, here are the bases for Roy, starting with 23 HP, 9 strength, 4 magic, 9 dexterity, 8 speed, 7 luck, 5 defense, 4 res, and 10 charm. As for growths, he has 65 HP, 40 strength, 30 magic, 60 dexterity, 50 speed, 65 luck, 25 defense, 30 res, and 65 charm. Roy is coming in with kind of growths. Sound familiar? I wanted him to be the big battalion guy of the group. Seeing as how he led an army at 15, I think it's fair to give him that much. 11 base charm is the highest in the game, and 65% charm is extraordinarily high for a growth. As for proficiencies, he is proficient in sword fighting, authority, and cavalry, taking after his close combat fighting style in both FE6 and Smash, along with picking something up from his dad on the cavalry front. Authority is a given because, you know, he led an army at 15. For a budding talent, he gets Sealed Charm, which will make the foe suffer -6 charm after combat. Early game gamuts are usually pretty terribly inaccurate, so something like this would be a great debuff against bosses or battalion enemies, or anything that exists in maddening if it's not a monster. Following the theme of charm, his personal skill is Young Lion. When a battalion is assigned and battalion endurance is 50% or higher, damage dealt to foe is +3, damage received from foe is -2. If Roy is commanding a relatively healthy battalion, he will get added protection and might on his attacks. As for dependent learned abilities, he has Battalion Desperation, Model Leader, Battalion Wrath, and Rally Movement at S. And for combat arts, he gets Grounder, Bane of Monsters, Swift Strikes, and with the Binding Blade, he'll also get the combat art Dragon Bind. Might increases based on user's dexterity, and it's also effective against dragon foes, and like in FE6, this weapon is actually 2-range. For learned spells, he gets Fire and Bolganone, and for white magic, he gets Heal, Nosferatu, Recover, and Restore. So not the greatest spellcaster, don't use him as a magic user, I guess. Getting into the timeline now, in 1165, Roy is born as the son of Eliwood, Marquis Ferret. In 1175, he meets Lucina, daughter of Hector, Marcus Ostia. In 1180, he defeats Zephiel and Idun and saves Elib from disaster, and also in 1180, he enrolls at the Officers Academy at Garreg Mach. Roy is super milquetoast, so I wanted to carry that through. He loves reading and learning and looks up to his heroic father. He likes protecting his allies and finding safe methods to do things that ensure the least casualties possible. For friends, I picked Ash first, kind of a nod to Wolt being Roy's very close childhood friend. But I think if Ash knew about Eliwood, maybe we would learn more about Leonardo, or Ash would strive to become an even more better-rounded, ideal knight. Alois is a jolly old goofball with a knack for bad jokes, but Alois's charisma and ability to brighten up the army would have been a complementary piece to Roy's leadership, I believe. On a deeper level though, Roy is generally always trying to find the safest and least deadly way to resolve battle, but Alois has a fear of the dead coming back to get revenge on him. So in my eyes, they value life in a similar way. Would Roy share his experience with killing and console Alois, or would it be the other way around? Now take this with a grain of salt because I haven't played FE6 in a really long time, but I'm not really sure if Roy ever really gets into deep detail about how he deals with the truth behind his actions in his own game, but we do learn that he does get depressed and sad despite his cheery disposition, which is something else they share as well. Ignatz is here last. He's kind of the cast's punching bag. He's a total nerd, doesn't even think he's cut out to be a knight, and is cowardly. Oftentimes he's profusely apologizing for arbitrary reasons, or is just actually getting crapped on by his allies. But Roy is also a nerd who isn't exactly the one you would have expected to have gone toe-to-toe with Zephiel, no less a dragon. Multiple dragons, actually. Roy could quickly connect with Ignatz' insecurity about others judging him and his lack of self-confidence, and hopefully show him, by virtue of just being himself, the 15-year-old wonder boy, that it's okay to not be as magically skilled as Lysithea or as physically strong as Raphael to make a difference. Ignatz desperately needs a confidence boost, but also not from people delivering it in such a stone-cold way.
I am Camilla, eldest princess from the Kingdom of Nor. If you need help disciplining any naughty children, just call my name.
Next up is Camilla from Fire Emblem Fates. Camilla is coming in with 31 base HP, 10 strength, 9 magic, 6 dexterity, 10 speed, 6 luck, 11 defense, 8 res, and 5 charm. For growth, she has 40 HP, 55 strength, 45 magic, 40 dexterity, 50 speed, 25 luck, 35 defense, 45 res, and 20 charm. Camilla, you'll notice, is pretty stacked. High HP, strength, magic, speed, defense, and res. And like Fates, she has a relatively low HP growth while still usable, and she has bad luck, and I also wanted to make sure her charm isn't the greatest thing ever. She is proficient in axes, lances, reason, and flying, but not good in authority or swords. A common theme I tried to have here was her weakness in taking charge. She isn't really cut out to lead Nor, and actually gives up her rule as queen in her ending, so I figured poor authority and charm would be a logical weakness for her. Her budding talent is in faith. White magic crit plus 10, which of course grants crit plus 10 when using white magic. The only white magic budding talents is an avoid boost, but since I have her learning Seraphim, I figured a boost in monster killing firepower would be just what she needed. Her personal skill is Obsession, when adjacent to female allies, plus 5 damage dealt, but minus 10 hit. She can rack up a ton of damage, but she will also lose 10 more hit if she's next to a probably adorable girl. For dependent learned abilities, she gets Rally Luck and Battalion Wrath, and for combat arts she gets Monster Breaker and Lightning Axe. With the proficiency in axes and strong growths and bases in both magic and strength, I feel like Lightning Axe is going to be a very, very useful asset for her. For Faith, Camilla has Heal, Nosferatu, Rescue, and Seraphim, and for Reason she has Fire and Ragnarok. She has a small yet powerful spell list, but Ragnarok is one of the strongest magic spells in the game, and with more investment, she can also get Rescue at B rank Faith, as a nod to her overprotectiveness. So if you go the mage route, Camilla can definitely serve you well. Now for some personal information. In 1155, she is born as the eldest daughter to the Norian king, Garen. In 1160, she meets Khorne and resolves to protect her adopted sibling. In 1178, she assists in the defeat of Anankos, and in 1180, she enrolls in the Officers' Academy at Garreg Mach. She is interested in sweets, baths, and adorable girls, dislikes stress, politics, and people vying for Khorne's attention, and her close allies are Manuela, Shamir, and Edelgard. Manuela and her, I imagine, would really enjoy their time together over drinks and singing. I also put down Shamir as I find her and Beruka have similar quiet personalities. Camilla isn't unfamiliar with hiring mercenaries, especially the ones who tried to kill her in the past, and since Shamir likes money, I imagine they would have a pretty straightforward and solid business relationship. And last, for Edelgard, I just figured she'd find her super cute and might try to insert herself as a motherly figure to her. And I'd be curious if she would be jealous over Hubert's closeness to her. Besides, Edelgard could use some more loyal and powerful front-line allies.
Professor, I'm happy to meet you. To learn under a time of peace, it was a luxury I could never afford. I'll embrace this moment, and the future ones at the Academy too.
And last we have Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening. For bases, she has 23 HP, 9 strength, 2 magic, 9 dexterity and speed, 8 luck, 7 defense, 4 res, and 7 charm. Lucina has your typical glass cannon bases, decent strength, dexterity and speed, with not the best defenses. As for growth, she has 45 HP, 35 strength, 20 magic, 60 dexterity and speed, 80 luck, 25 defense, 25 res, and 45 charm. In line from her growths from Awakening, I made sure to give her crazy high luck. I gave her a respectable charm growth as well as a reference to Lucina's attempts to live like the hero king, which Tiki describes as someone who is incredibly selfless and a kind leader. She is strong in swords and lances and has no weaknesses. And I picked lances as a reference to her brave alt in Heroes, and similarly her budding talent is in bows as a nod to her legendary alt in Heroes. For a budding talent she has bow protection +4, which literally grants protection +4 when using a bow. Skills like Weapon Avoid Plus exist in this game, like with Magic and Sword Avoid +20 or something, so I wanted to work off that and give her some extra bulk if she uses a bow. For a personal skill, she has Dual Strike Plus. If a unit is paired with an offensive adjutant, increases their chance for a follow-up attack by 15%. I really wish that this game did more with adjutants, but I guess not. So I wanted to make sure, like in the previous video with Robin's personal, that Lucina's personal skill is a nod to Awakening's cornerstone pair-up system. For learned spells, she gets Fire, Sagittae, and Excalibur, and for Faith, she gets Heal, Nosferatu, Physic, and Seraphim. One of Lucina's best spell is Physic, but I also threw Seraphim in there since it's effective against monsters, like her Falchion is, or Parallel Falchion, I should say. For dependent learned ability, she gets Rally Charm at D, Battalion Desperation, and Battalion Vantage. And for combat arts, she gets Bane of Monsters, Sunder, Finesse Blade, and Lucina is also bringing along her Parallel Falchion from her own game. And with that comes Aether, which is the hero-styled Aether that I mentioned in the last video. Resolve combat as if foes suffer defense and res minus 50%. Unit recovers HP equals half the damage dealt. In the last video, you might have noticed that I said the time skip in Awakening was 1 year, but it's actually 2 years. So I think I got the math right here, but in case I didn't, I'm sure someone's going to correct me in the comments. In 1180, she is born as the eldest daughter of the Elysian King Crom. In 1199, she is sent back in time by Naga to prevent Crom's death. Back in 1180, she assists in defeating Grima in the new timeline. And in 1180, she enrolls in the Officers Academy at Garreg Mach. For interests, I placed helping allies because she is often trying to help her friends and live like Marth did. Romance because she likes to hear about it between her mother and father, and training since, well, she trains a lot. She likes her parents, masks, and shopping, specifically for dresses, but dislikes bugs, like when she freaked out with Cynthia and tried to kill a bug with a Falchion, the Undead, aka the Risen, and Grima because of her personal ties with him. For close allies, I have Gilbert, Rhea, and Hilda. I picked Rhea first because Lucina has a unique relationship with Tiki and Naga. To be able to see how Rhea would react to the stories of the Hero King from her world, and how her goddess, quote-unquote, Naga, was part of Lucina's story to defeating Grima would be something I'd love to watch. We honestly don't really know too much about Rhea as a person, unfortunately, because she just supports with Byleth, so I think getting some more depth would definitely be helpful. Although it might just lead to Rhea talking about her mom again, but who knows. Or maybe we would see the two spar. That'd be kind of cool too. I chose Hilda as a close ally since Lucina does like to shop for dresses, even if her eye for style is a bit lacking. I'm sure with Hilda's expert eye on fashion and makeup, Lucina would really have fun letting loose with a fellow girlfriend. Last, I chose Gilbert. A significant part of Gilbert's characterization is the guilt he feels over abandoning his family, yet being unwilling to accept himself back into their life as he feels undeserving of what he's done. Byleth and Annette play a huge role in convincing him to return home, but I think Lucina would bring another perspective and argument to him. He abandoned his home and family, but Lucina had those ripped away from her and fought with everything she could and did the impossible to try to change her future and to keep her father alive. I'd like to see Lucina act as a foil for Gilbert from the perspective of someone who, at one time, lost everything that he chose to leave behind and what that did to her. Gilbert is a character-definingly stubborn person, but I think even he would have to be moved by Lucina's story. Well folks, that's going to do it for part 2 of 3 Houses Crossfire Emblem. If you want to see a third video in this series, please let me know if you want to see this series keep going. If you're new to my channel and made it through here till the end, please subscribe for more scripted Fire Emblem content just like this. Positive subscriber growth and more interactions on videos shows me what sort of direction I should take the channel. So I really hope you liked this one. You can also click the links to the artists and the voice actors below in this video description. Anyways, thanks for watching. Deuces.